What's up guys, this is Trypal, welcome back to the channel. Guys, today we're going to be going over how to rotate in solo squads for Season 6. So the way that I'm going to go about this video is just by commentating over the parts in which I'm rotating, and then whenever there's gameplay stuff just going on in the background like combat and that kind of stuff, I'm just going to let that play out and let you guys focus in entirely on that. And the great thing about this gameplay is that it's not all against bots, which is always a plus. So you will see there's some bots at the beginning obviously, and it's going to look worse whenever they don't have guns, such as what you just saw. But that's fine. The skill level is going to increase as we go on, and I actually do end up facing these two really sweaty people. And yeah, so you'll see it's not all against bots. Is the main thing to take away here. Now, so here we go. So right off the bat, I took out a bunch of people. An early start is really good for high kills, but basically if you want to be having a good rotation for a high kill gameplay, then I do recommend landing the top of trumps and taking control of that. Work your way down the building and make sure you do grab the 4 pallets that this building has to offer. The reason is it's kind of hard to get mats outside of this building. It's going to be at least more difficult. So this is an easy 200 mats that you can just quickly gain and then use those mats to go and kill their people, collect their mats from the remaining buildings within Tilted Towers. Now, as far as where I go after I mine these pallets, it's all about playing it by ear. So at this moment, I heard people shooting in the front of the construction building, and so I think I'm going to go ahead and get on the roof and get a good look at what's going on. Even though it's an open angle for me to get shot at, I do have a great advantage in the fact that 1, I have mats to cover myself, and 2, I have an open sight line across the entire action that's going on within Tilted Towers right now. And with these advantages, I actually have a greater influence on what happens in these fights. So after picking up that kill, I go ahead and move down to this 1x1, and I know that there's somebody in there because I saw him build the 1x1 before, and I go ahead and take a look through the wall and I see that he's rezzing his teammate. So I made the decision here that I don't hear any shooting around me. I'm going to go ahead and wait this out and let him get the res. That way I can pick up not 1 kill but 2 kills. So this is a good decision to make impulsively in high kill gameplays. If you have the opportunity, then I do recommend doing it. And I guess now is a good time to go over the controller configuration that I'm using right now. Personally, I'm finding that the configuration in regard to fastest editing that I covered a few days ago is looking like it's cooperating with my game style the most out of all 3. Even though it's not the best in my opinion, I do think that it's the best for my personal game style. And if I wasn't clear enough in that video, it's all about game style, what controller you use. So for me personally, I think I'm going to be sticking with this one, but I certainly haven't confirmed for 100% if this is what I'm going to use, but more than likely this is probably what I'm going to be going with. Now after I take out this guy at the clock tower, I go ahead and take a look at the map because at this point in the game I have 9 kills and there's a good amount of people left. I don't think that anyone else is in Tilted Towers because they probably would have been shooting me by now, and they're not. So in my mind right now I'm thinking that Tilted Towers is done. So there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of players left, and my objective is going to be to go to the place that's going to have the biggest population or the highest chance of me finding more opponents. So right now that's that floating island. That's now, at the time of this recording, it was over Pleasant Park or next to that area, and so I went ahead and headed over there, and I did end up finding a team. So the biggest takeaway from this fight is that you have to maintain high ground if you want to be winning in solo squads. And so you'll see they start trying to push over to the island. I immediately hop onto the highest place that this island has to offer, and that's the house in the middle, and I just defend it because that's literally the best thing that I could possibly do. So always rotate to high ground, especially if you have natural cover or natural high ground. That's going to be really good to use to your advantage. Now after I finally take out that squad, it took way too long to do so, but I finally take them out, and then I start getting sniped at from another squad. And I'm thinking at this point that they're probably not going to push me because the island is at the edge of the circle, but I actually happen to be wrong. They're going to push me because they know that they can easily escape the island by using the whirlwind itself and just glide away if worse comes to shove. So they do end up pushing me, and that puts me in a panic mode as far as getting enough mats and looting the people that I killed. So I try to do that as much as I can. I don't have that many mats, and with that considered and the storm's going to be moving pretty soon, I decided to opt for leaving the island completely and going somewhere that I can farm mats safely. So I go ahead and look for my window of opportunity. I go ahead and just take that and go all the way back to Trumps, where I can safely farm some wood and be ready for a better fight. Now as I'm finishing up farming materials, I do see them outside and hear them. So I go ahead and try to get some shots on through the window, and then after I put some shots on, I know I gotta get to the high ground because that's where they're gonna take over. So I rush up there, and you'll see things get super crazy. They have a double barrel and a grappler, so that's super dangerous, of course. And so any high ground attempt that I had, I would have to just drop down because they had that double barrel. So with that in mind, I jump padded out immediately and tried to escape the situation. Try to get somewhere where I have the element of surprise that can maybe take out one of them. And so I do just that. You'll see later on, I run around through the building so they don't know exactly where I am, and then I get a very good shot on someone that's gliding in, trying to follow me, and that turns the 2v1 into a 1v1, which is obviously much more controllable. Now after barely beating those guys, I have another team of 3 glide in on me, and I'm thinking, when am I going to get a break? Like, it's just constant, team after team. So I go ahead and rush up to the top of Trumps as fast as I can, once again, get that high ground, and see if you can get any AR shots off. That's really important in solo squads, is to use your AR as much as possible, and that's something that I'm working on personally. So you'll see I do a pretty good job against these guys doing that, and I land some easy shots, and you'll see that these guys are actually not bad as far as they know how to play the game. I won't say that they're amazing at it, but they know how to play. They have a rocket launcher on me, they have people spraying, people building up on me, and so I just have to contest the high ground and put pressure on their teammates. So one thing that I chose to do after I heard the rocket was glide onto one of their teammates so that they wouldn't rocket me down, or there would be a less chance of them rocketing me down. So, but after I downed one of them, they went ahead and just rocketed it. They didn't care about their teammate. But that's just one thing to note, is that sometimes your opponent's teammates won't use the rocket launcher on their own teammate, so just keep that in mind. Now after a really unorthodox fight, the storm was closing in and we had to all get out of there, and so I chose to go onto the top of this mountain to where I could have a shot on them. I knew I would land first, and so I could take some snipes maybe. Now you'll notice that my mats are severely lacking, and you'll notice the player count. There's 4 people left. These people go ahead and opt to go to the new circle, which is a good move on their part. And they went ahead and tried to hold that high ground. So at this point in the game, I'm thinking I have 400 mats, so that's about 40 materials, 40 walls that I can build. That's not that much. My goal right now is to make it over to that new circle, because I know that if I don't hold that high ground, then I'm going to lose. With only 40 walls, they're going to shoot right through me, and I'm going to be done. So I looked for the window of opportunity where they stopped shooting at me, and I went ahead and tried to push over to that mountain. This was the most important move of the entire game, because when I was doing that, the 4th guy, the 4th solo guy, ended up fighting the other 2 people and taking them off that mountain, or behind their builds onto the ground. And so I was able to walk up the other side of the mountain, and then once I had the high ground, I just gotta hold it. Super simple. They also had the storm closing in behind them, so I just had to apply pressure. I was able to down one of them, and then like I said, the storm is coming in. I don't really care if I get the kill. It's just, at this point, all about putting pressure on your opponent. I do just that. I ended up with 17 kills in solo squad. I can't complain. So the biggest takeaway here, guys, is that in Season 6, you want to rotate to that island. If you have the opportunity to do so, because there's pretty much always going to be people there, and if there's not, then you can just simply glide away using the whirlwind that's holding up the island. Be smart about your surroundings. Know that if you don't have that many mats, that you can't confront a fight that maybe you would like to, and just make sure you take all of those elements into consideration. So with that said, guys, I hope you did learn something today, and if you did, a like would be much appreciated because it really does help out the channel. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.